Our CaterKwik's live stream. Today we are doing our 18 kilogram washing machine. First of all, I'm going to talk about how to use it in a hotel and how you're going to wash it, your sheets and your bedding, your duvets, things like that. Then I'm going to move on to how you're going to use it for equine laundry, so washing your horse rugs, numbers, boots and things like that. And I'll tell you all about the different wash cycles to use and everything on the machine. So starting with the capacity, our machine is 18 kilograms. So obviously it's got a huge drum for you to fit plenty in there. So I'm going to do a quick load for you now just to show you what sort of things you can fit in, how much you can fit in there. So I've got some towels here. They're big bath towels. I've got 4 bath towels that I can put in there for you. Still loads of room. And then I've got some sheets as well. So I've got 3 big double sheets here that can go in. I'm going to put them in there. And there's still more room, so I'll just put a few hand towels in as well, just to show you that. And if you can see inside there, there's plenty of room in the washing machine to put more in. Now, you don't want to overfill it and put too much in there, because then water can't reach all of the wash. And you want to have enough room for it to move around, and it can spin properly as well. When you're loading it, just make sure you don't get anything trapped in the door, particularly when you're putting duvets in. So this machine will wash a king size 10.5 tog duvet. So just make sure it's in, it's not going to get caught on the rubber gasket or anything, and then shut the door so nothing's trapped in it. Okay, so I'll talk a bit about how you're going to use, what cycles you're going to use on the wash. So loading the detergent. In here you've got a pre-wash compartment. So the machine has a pre-wash feature. You can put detergent in that if you'd like. You've also got your detergent compartment there, so you can either use liquid or you can use powder. If you're using liquid, you leave the insert in there. If you're using powder, take it out. Try not to lose it. You have a lot of customers lose them in there. And then you've got your fabric softener that you can put in there. It's also got a compartment for the bleach. If you want to use bleach on your whites, you can put it in there, and it gives you sort of a guide of how much you're going to use. Regarding maintenance of that, you can pull it out and put it back in quite easily, and just make sure you keep that clean so it doesn't get blocked. Okay, and then we've also got your wash cycles. So going through that, you're probably going to use the cotton wash on the most. It's 1 hour and 20 minutes as standard. Each of these preset washes can be edited how you'd like them. So you've got soil level from 1 to 5. If it's really heavily soiled, put it on a soil level of 5. It'll wash for slightly longer. If it's not so dirty, you can put it on a soil level of 1 and it'll wash a bit less. It won't use as much water or energy to do the wash. You can also change the temperature. It'll wash up to 75 degrees. For cottons, I'd probably wash them on a 60 or 70. You can do it quite high for cottons. If it's like duvets and things, probably a 30 is fine. So you can change that how you like. Spin speed. Now the machine will spin up to 1300 RPM. Because this drum's a lot bigger than a domestic machine, of course, when it spins, it's going to make more G-force. So when you're doing duvets and things, I would just spin them on 1000 so it doesn't spin it to death. But for towels, sheets, hand towels, like tea towels, things like that, 1300 is absolutely fine. And it'll come out pretty dry. It'll get rid of a lot of the moisture out of the laundry, and then you'll save on your drying time as well. This machine's A++ energy rated, so even though it's a big machine, it isn't going to cost you a fortune to run it. And that's basically it. I'll go through the features of the machine, extra features on the machine that you might want to use as well. So it's got pre-wash, like I said about the detergent drawer. You can add that into the cycle, which it's essentially a pre-soak for anything that's really, really heavily soiled. You can put that on. It'll bring cold water in, only cold water, soak it in that. Then it'll drain that, get rid of any debris out of the machine, and then it'll start its main wash. So you can add a pre-wash on there as well. It's also got time saver if you want to reduce the amount of time on the wash. It's usually about 5% that it'll reduce it by, but you can add that there as well. So delay wash. This means you can delay the wash for up to 24 hours if you don't want it to start before you can take the laundry out. So for example, if you're at work, you can delay it to start just before you get back, and then you can take the laundry out, because if your laundry's sat in the bottom of the machine, it'll get creased, the creases will inset, and obviously it'll start smelling damp if you don't take it out quick enough. You've also got as well an extra rinse, which is pretty self-explanatory if you're wanting to add more water into the wash and rinse it for a bit longer at the end. It's also got my cycle, so I know for hotels this is quite important because you'll have different staff using the machine. if you've got a wash that you want it to do every time and you're going to get the same results every time, you can set my cycle. So if I want to do a cotton wash, for example, I want it on a soil level of 5 because I want it washed for a bit longer. I want to wash it at 60 and I'm going to spin it at 1300, and then you can set that. So you just hold down the my cycle button for about 3 seconds and then it'll set. So that's set now. And any wash I put the machine on, I can press my cycle and it'll always go back to that. So you can make that a sort of a rule for your staff that are going to use the machine. There. It's also got add steam, which you can add onto it. It can be added onto the majority of these washes. And what that does, it's sort of a gentle way of adding heat into the wash without damaging the laundry. So instead of boiling the laundry, the machine will bring water in, heat it up, add steam, which obviously adds steam into the wash, and it'll hold that for 15 minutes. This helps get rid of stains and creases in the laundry, so you're going to save on ironing time. So you can add that to the majority of them washes there, and you can even save that onto the My Cycle. You've also got a stain removal guide if you ever need to use that. So something that's really dirty, for example, if you're washing a football kit or a rugby kit or some sort of, or in school you might have dirty children, you can change the stain level. So dirt's the worst one. It will add time onto your wash, but obviously it'll wash it a lot better and it's going to be better for doing that. So I'll talk a bit about the detergent that you can use in the machine. Obviously, we've got our own detergent that you can use for our machine. We've got the CaterWash Professional Laundry Powder. It has a very professional fragrance to it, and it's very good at washing whites and heavy stains, so it's very good to use on the machine. For that one, you put about 15 grams per kilogram of dry laundry, so you don't need to use very much of it. And that just goes in there in your detergent drawer. You just put that bit in there, and it'll take it out. Take this out because it's powder, you don't need that in, and you can obviously put that back in there, if I can get it lined up properly. You've also got your fabric conditioner as well, our CaterWash fabric conditioner. This one you use 5 to 7 mils per kilogram of laundry. Again, it's got a similar fragrance to this one, and you're going to get a nice fresh laundry coming out your washing machine, whether it be towels or sheets. So you can use that in there as well. And that's pretty much it for a hotel. So regarding installing the machine, it's very, very easy to install. It's just 13 amp plug-in, cold water fill, and it's obviously then you just need your drain. It has an inch drain pipe. Just to be sure when you're installing the machine, just make sure your drain pipe, when it goes into your stand pipe, it only goes in 5 inches. If you put this one too far in the machine, down your sandpipe, sorry, then it'll siphon air and the machine will struggle to pump the water out because it needs to get air out for it to drain properly. So you just make sure of that. It's cold water fill. It comes with its inlet hose, which is 3/4 inch BSP. So it's just a case of fastening that to your water and that to the back of your machine. Really easy to install. Again, like I say, the machine will have a drain pump, so you don't need to worry about gravity waste or putting it on a plinth or anything like that. It's just wherever you like to install it. That's pretty much it for hotels. Does anybody have any questions on that? You can comment on the video and I can answer them for you later on if you have any more questions about that. So I'll move on to using it for equine laundry. I've got this one set up here. I've got some rugs in here. We sell a lot of these machines to people doing either laundry businesses for horse rugs or just on the livery yard. So it is like an additional feature that you can add onto your livery yard. So your livery people can use it. They can pay you for each wash, and you can sort of set a price for each different wash. And again, you can use the My Cycle button. So if you've just joined me for watching the equine bit, I'll go over that again. So the My Cycle button for washing horse rugs, again, I'd either use the cotton wash or I would use the activewear wash. Activewear is a bit shorter time, but that's fine for your turnout rugs or your stable rugs. You then obviously, pre-wash is quite important for washing horse rugs. As you can imagine, when horses go out in the fields, they come in very dirty and they love to roll. So you put the pre-wash on, it'll pre-soak the rug in cold water, then it'll drain that, so then your main cycle's not starting with dirty water and it's not bringing your detergent in dirty water. Again, you can use the pre-wash compartment to put detergent in there if you wanted to. So that's that bit. Soil level of 5. I would recommend that nearly all the time for horse rugs because obviously they're quite greasy, quite dirty. Temperature for horse rugs, again, I would put them on 30 degrees. Most rug manufacturers will recommend that you use 30 degrees and no hotter. So I would set it at that if you're going to do the My Cycle. Spinning, again, a bit similar to duvets. You need to spin it on 1,000. You can't get so you don't, because of the spin's very hard on this machine, makes a lot of G-force. You don't want to ruin the rugs by spinning them too much. Loading the machine. So I've got 2 rugs in here. This one is a 6'6" medium weight rug. It's got a neck on it. And just make sure when you're doing this that you fasten the buckles before you wash it, because your surcingles can get tied around your rug when it's spinning or tumbling, and then if it twists the rug, you can either rip your rug or the water can't get into the middle where it's been twisted. So make sure you fasten them. Also make sure you fasten any Velcro at the front, because if the hard bit of the Velcro sticks to any part of the rug, then it can just pull on the fabric, which you don't want, so just make sure that's fastened. And then of course as well, your buckles at the front need to be fastened with the Velcro. Make sure that's all fastened so nothing can get twisted or caught. Just like that. You can wash them inside out as well, so you can get the grease out the middle, depending on which bit's the dirtiest part of the rug. I mean, you could wash that on its own if you want that to have a really good wash, but you can see it's not too dirty. I've also got a liner in here, so this is a medium weight 6'6" liner that you can wash in there as well. So you can see the capacity is huge. You can fit both them in there at the same time. 2 6'6" medium weight rugs, and it'll wash them comfortably with plenty of room for it to do. When you're loading it, again, you do need to make sure that you're not getting anything caught between the door and the door seal, so that it can't trap it when it's trying to tumble. So you can put them in there like that. And everything's fastened. And you can see, hopefully you can see, there's plenty of room for the rugs to be moved around. They're obviously going to squash a bit when they're washing, and you've got plenty of water in there as well. So the machine will bring about 60 litres of water in for its wash. Make sure nothing's trapped, and then close the door, and then you're ready to go. So that's what I've set up there, and I'm going to add a pre-wash onto that as well, onto the MyCycle. So at 30 degrees, 1,000 spin speed, and I'm going to hold down the MyCycle button, so any of my yard staff can come to the machine, or your liveries who are going to pay to use the machine can come and press the MyCycle, and every time it's going to be the wash that you want it to be, and you can set a price for that, and then of course just press start. Another helpful feature of the machine, it has add a garment, so we all forget an item of clothes or something, or drop it on the way to the washing machine, so you can add that. What it'll do is it'll reduce the water to the door level, let you open the door, it'll unlock, let you open it, and then you can add anything back in, and it'll carry on from where it left off, instead of sort of trying to start from the beginning again. It's also useful that if you're just wanting to add something in at different points of the wash, so you can see here when the machine starts, it'll fill and it'll light up to tell you it's filling, it'll wash, it'll tell you when it's washing, when it's draining, when it's rinsing, when it's spinning, and when it's complete. So if I just want to add something to the rinse, when it gets to that stage, I can add a garment and then press start, and it'll just go through the rinse and spin part of the wash instead of doing the whole thing. It's also got extended tumble, which is designed to keep the laundry fresh. Similar to the delay wash, if you're not going to be back to the machine to unload it straight away, you can put extended tumble on there, and it'll just keep turning the laundry every so often, tumbling it each way, so it's not sat in the bottom getting damp and creased. As well, if you're doing the horse rugs and you want to add steam into the cycle, because you can't wash it very hot, you can add steam into the wash. So any stable stains, it's very good for that. It's not harsh heat, it's not going to boil the fabric, and you can add that in there. So that's mainly that for what cycle you're going to use for your rugs. Regarding the detergent, so we have our own laundry detergent for washing the horse rugs. We've got Rug Wash here, it comes in 10 litre tubs. For this one you would use approximately 6 to 9 mils per kilogram of dry laundry. Now that's varies on how hard your water is, and it also varies on sort of how big the rug is, of course, of how much of that you're going to put in. It's safe to use on horses, of course. And then we've got reproof. So if you want to reproof in the machine, that's absolutely fine. So you'd wash the rug first so that it's clean, and then you put your reproofer in. So you can either put it in the wash and you use 100 to 500 mils after the initial wash is finished. You put that in there. You don't need to take the rug out and dry it or anything. You just put it in there, and then you can set it off either on a quick wash or you can just do a rinse and spin and it'll put it in there and it'll stick to the rug and it'll be reproofed. Now make sure that you hang the rug out to dry once you've done that, because if you put the rug in the dryer you can damage the reproof on it, so we always recommend to hang it up to dry. The other detergent that we've got for sort of farms and people that you're going to use it for washing udder cloths on dairy farms, so we've got the premium emulsifier. This is quite important because obviously the grease can get built up on the heating element, so you need to use that as your detergent, which will break down any grease in the cloths and of course keep the machine maintained well. So you can use that in there as well. Regarding obviously installing this machine, it's similar, 13 amp plug-in, cold water fill, and you can install it on your yard. It never gets affected by cold or anything like that. So moving on to maintaining the machine, similar for both situations, but more so for washing the horse rugs that you need to do. So you need a tray to collect any water that's going to come out, and either a flathead screwdriver or just a coin. And what you do, I'll show you on this machine. Make sure that's there so you collect any water. Use your screwdriver or just a coin. Pop the front off there, and that comes totally off. And then you've got like a spout there which is going to direct the water into your tray. And then you need to unscrew it. So counterclockwise, take it out, pull it out, and then you just need to empty that. If there's anything in that, it'll block the machine. So this is to protect the drain pump. So no hair or shavings or anything, or coins, anything out of the wash is going to get to your drain pump and break it. So that's to protect that. Definitely for when it's washing horse rugs, once a week. If you've washed something really hairy, do it straight away. Now this is quite important as well, so I hope you can just see this bit here. There's a notch on here that you need to line up with the notch in there so that it goes in properly. So you slide it in like that so it slots in nicely, and then just turn it clockwise until it's tight, and then it won't leak or anything. Put that back up, remove your tray, and then just pop the front back on like that. So that's that, maintaining that part of the machine. You also need to descale the machine. So we recommend to descale once every 3 months. You can buy a descaler from ourselves and you use 50 grams of that, put it straight in the drum, and then put the machine on a basket clean and leave it. Nothing should be in the wash when you're descaling it. It'll keep any scale off the heating element. And do that once every 3 months. If you're in a really hard water area, you need to do it sort of once a month and make sure you keep on top of that. Okay, so I've got a couple of questions I can see. So what size duvet can the machine take? So this machine can take a king size duvet, 10.5 tog, quite comfortably, so it'll wash properly. Obviously single duvets on lighter duvets, you can put like sort of 2 at once, but it'd be 1 at a time if it was a king size one, just so it washes properly. And another question about horse rugs. So my horse has a 7'6" horse rug. Gosh, that's a big horse. Would the machine be able to cope with this, or is it too big? So the machine will take a 7-foot heavyweight. So if it wasn't a big heavyweight rug, then it should wash it quite comfortably. I mean, you can wash it in there. You just might have to put it through a few times, just depending on what weight the rug is. So this one here is a 7-foot rug. It has a neck on it, and it's a sort of a medium weight, but it's quite a heavy rug. And you can fit that, it fits that in absolutely fine. So if I show you that one in there, obviously I would have fastened the surcingles first, but you get that in, there's absolutely loads of room for that to wash in there. So your 7'6" rug should fit in, but not a heavyweight, I would recommend for that one. So you can see that there. Loads of room for it to move around and wash, especially for its spin. You don't want to spin it too much and ruin the rug. So that's the main bit for that. And obviously make sure the door can shut comfortably without getting caught in there. And that's basically it for the 2 machines and installing them. So make sure you descale them. Make sure you do the basket clean. I can also talk a bit more about the different washes. So I've talked about the washes that I would use. It does obviously have some more preset washes. So you've got sanitized wash. It's a hot wash. It's 75 degrees. It'll wash and it'll hold that temperature and it'll kill 99.9% of the bacteria. So you can use that wash there. Bulky bedding. Again, you can use that for your duvets or you can use the cotton wash. It's at 30 degrees like I recommended. You don't want to wash the duvets too hot. Active wear, again, I'd use that for the horse rugs, numbness, boots, bandages. You've got towels and sheets. Again, I'd use cotton. You've got a really long wash here, so it's cotton eco. If you're wanting something to do a really long soak, then obviously it's 4 hours, 43 minutes. You probably won't use that one too much. Cotton one, like I say, you're probably going to use that the most. Delicate items, you can wash them in there. The quick wash on this machine is 46 minutes. Again, you can change anything on that to make it even more or less. So if you wash it on a colder 20 degrees, then it'll only wash for 36 minutes. So it's quite a quick wash. Quite a quick wash, that one there. And it's spinning on 1200 as a preset. Rinse and spin, of course, if you're just wanting to rinse and spin something, if you're reproofing it and you just want to do that, you can do there. And then basket clean. Again, that's just to keep the machine clean itself. Very important, again, for the equine rugs. If you've got waxy arena surface and greasy horse rugs, then of course you need to put it on a basket clean. You can put bleach in the drum while you're doing that as well, just to keep the machine like new. So what is the price of the machine? So the machine is $1,198 plus VAT. It comes with 2 years full commercial warranty. And that's obviously covered by ourselves. If you ever have a problem with the machine, our own engineers are going to come out to the machine. It won't be third party. We'll come and fix it ourselves. Obviously, if you're unfortunate enough. The main problems that you'll ever have with the machine, it'll be this filter here being blocked. The machine has a self-diagnostic. So if you ring us up and you have a problem with the machine, all our service team are trained to go into the error codes and find the error codes for you. And it'll, if you've got a blocked drain, it'll be E31. And we'll obviously advise that you just empty that and you'll be away like normal. It's obviously got different test modes as well, so we can test every single part of this machine to make sure it's working as it should. So yeah, that's the main of that. I've got another question coming. I'll just wait for this one to come up. So, will the horsehair cause issues with the machine? Like I say, if you empty the filter enough, no it won't. It absolutely won't. It'll all get caught in that. It'll not get to the drain pump as long as you're emptying that enough. Use the basket clean cycle as much as you can, sort of once a week for horse rugs, and then descale as well. And just make sure you just empty in that, anything gets caught in that. So whether it be horsehair, shavings, it's all got to get caught in there. So yeah, just as long as you maintain it, it's not going to cause you a problem. And that's the main of that. So I can show you how to get into the self-diagnostic as well, just so we can refer back to this if you ever do have a problem or you want to diagnose your machine yourself. It's really easy. So turn the machine on and then you press temperature, delay wash, temperature, delay wash. The door will lock, wait 5 seconds and it'll come up with a test. So it'll be T01. So you need to ignore the T01, you don't need to use that. Turn the dial 1 click to the right, T02, and then you press start. Any error codes will come up now. So this machine's got nothing. E00 means no error codes. It'll come up with, if it say it had E31, then that's going to be the drain that you need to check. And then to just make sure there's no other error codes, just keep turning the dial so you've received all error codes. But like I say, you shouldn't have any other problems other than that drain being blocked. So that's that, and just because you've pressed delay wash, that's come up like that, so you can just set it back to normal. The child lock as well, I haven't mentioned that. So if you've set your wash and you've got a lot of children, the Radford family use this machine, so 20 children and counting. They like to press the buttons and the pretty lights on the machine. So if you lock the controls once you've set your wash off, hold down the child lock, the door is locked, everything's locked, nothing can be pressed, nothing can be changed, nobody can come and press it, and it'll do its wash. So you don't need to worry about that. To unlock it, again, just hold it down like that. So the machine's unlocked and you can change it again, change anything on the wash. It's however you want it. Quite a good feature if you've got children, or it might get bashed if somebody's walking past it. So I have another question. So what is the best turnout for rugs, cotton setting or active wear? So for the turnout rugs, I would use the cotton wash. It's slightly longer. Soil level 5 because it's likely to be very dirty. Temperature at 30 degrees and spin on 1000. Again, save it. I'd also probably add a pre-wash onto that so that it can get rid of any dirt that's on the rug before it starts, and then you can start it like that. So if there's no more questions, I think we have got another question, sorry, I'll just wait for this one to come up. When we will be getting a matching dryer. So currently we have nothing in the pipeline regarding dryers. The main dryer we sell with this machine is a 15 kilogram Whirlpool machine. Now the drum in that is massive. You can fit loads in it. Everything that can fit in here, you can fit in the dryer as well. It does need hard wiring. With it being a commercial dryer, it needs quite a lot of power. With the spin being 1300, you shouldn't need to dry anything for too long, but obviously you do need to think about that. It does as well need a 4-inch vent, so it's a vented dryer, not a condenser dryer. We do as well sell condenser dryers if you're needing that and you can't vent. The best way to vent your dryer will be straight out the back of a wall. It's the most efficient way without any lint getting caught in there, and you can dry it straight from this machine. You can take your duvets out, etc. So this machine's locked now. I can set this wash off that I've loaded before. I'll set that off so you can see the machine in action. So I'm going to wash it on a 60. And I'll spin it at 1300 and we can set that off. So then that's working. I have a question as well. Why do I have to press the on and off switch twice to turn the machine on? Well, you shouldn't have to turn it off. It should just turn off, so I'll show you. I don't know if you've seen me doing that or you've got a machine and you're doing that, but you just press it once and it comes on. You shouldn't have to press it twice. So just make sure you're pressing it and holding it for long enough to turn on. If you just wait until it turns on, it should turn on straight away. You don't need to press it twice. Just like that. And it should just turn on. So thank you for all the questions, guys. I've got another one. So someone's got a slightly older model, which is our white one, which is 14 kilogram. And whites are coming, oh, it's not our machine, but whites are coming out yellow. What would I recommend? So for our machine, like you can use our detergent. It's very, very, very good for any whites. So you can use that. Again, like I say, you can put bleach into ours and it'll tell you exactly how much bleach you can put in if you need to do that. You might want to use the pre-wash as a pre-soak with that in it and the bleach, so it can like bleach the whites before it does. As well, just make sure if it's coming out white, I'm not sure what model you've got or what manufacturer it is, but if you make sure there's nothing caught in the door seal that can be sort of staining the wash. So if you get in there and make sure there's nothing in there, and also make sure your drain's emptied. As well, if it's installed similar to our machines, just make sure that your drain pipe's not too far down your sandpipe, because again, if the machine's siphoning dirty water, it could be staining your whites or not letting the water drain out properly, which again could cause you problems. So just make sure that that's not shoved too far down your drain pipe and siphoning the machine. And thank you from Angela. Thank you very much for watching, Angela. And Donna as well, thank you for you. If you've got no more questions, we do have some links to videos now which you can watch of our customers that have used the machine. Of course, we love people to review the machines if you've already got one. Any are welcome, or any advice of how we can change or help you out with the machine. I'd love to help you out, and you can speak to me. So my name's Holly. If you ring CaterKwik and ask for me, I'll help you out with that. So you can see this machine's on. I'll just explain as well, just quickly. When you do start a wash, the machine turns one way, then it turns the other way before it starts the wash, and it'll unlock the door. So it is just testing itself. You don't need to do anything, just leave it. Once you've pressed start, just walk away, leave the machine to do its thing, and then it's obviously started now, this machine, and it's washing that in there, and it's just doing its tumble. So yeah, that's all from me. If there's no more questions, thank you very much for watching, and we'll do our links to our other videos now. Okay, thank you. Hello, today we're here at Woodland Stables in Crofton. I'm here with Harry, who uses our CaterWash washing machine to wash all his rugs and numbers and things. So I'm just going to ask Harry a few questions about the machine and what sort of settings he uses on it and how useful it is for him. So Harry, where did you hear about CaterWash? Do you know where you found it?
A friend actually recommended you. We'd been really struggling because we had machines that weren't man enough for the amount of rugs and kit we washed. A friend recommended us, then saw Facebook reviews, and we ended up purchasing one.
Yeah, so previously have you used like domestic machines?
Yes, we have, and they've just not been man enough.
Yeah, can't cope with the hair and everything. So, which brings me on to my next question. So how do you maintain the machine, so the hair that comes out of it and off the rug?
So we end up having to clean out the filter every so often, especially when it's had quite a heavy cycle with rugs and depending the time of year of the horse and things. But on the whole, it isn't a machine that takes a huge amount of maintaining. It's pretty good. Yeah,
it maintains itself pretty well. Yeah. So you do a bit of eventing, do you? So
these are event horses here. So there's a lot of kit that needs washing every weekend. And to be honest, everyday use. So no, it's great for that.
Yeah. And so what settings would you put it on when you're coming to put a wash on?
So I just put it on my cycle. And leave it a go.
Yeah, so I'll explain a bit about the My Cycle just while that's on. So whoever owns the machine can obviously set up any cycle they want to, optimise anyone using it. They can always get the same results from the wash. So they've got it on here, active wear, which is perfectly fine for washing big rugs. It's absolutely fine for that. It's on a soil level of 5, so you can change that on each wash. So if you were to wash like numbers and things, and you didn't want such a heavy wash because you could save water and time, then you can change the soil level from 1 to 5. 5's the heaviest, and then 1 obviously not so heavy. You can also change the temperature. So a lot of rug manufacturers will tell you to wash the rugs at 30 degrees and no more. So that's fine. You can select that on any cycle. You can change the temperature to 30. So we'll put that on that. And then the spin speed, this machine will spin up to 1300 RPM, but with the drum being a lot bigger than a domestic machine, it makes more G-force when it spins, so your big bulky rugs and things can spin too much. So it's best to always keep it on 1000 if you're washing them, but things like numbers, your boots and things, they're absolutely fine to go on. So it's 1300 and they'll come out pretty dry, so it's obviously going to save you on any drying time. So they've got it here and it's set on 30 degrees and 1000 RPM, and then all you have to do is save the My Cycle by holding the My Cycle button down, and there you go, it's saved. So next person comes to use the machine and somebody who's played with the dial, you can just come along, press My Cycle, and it's back on your wash that you want it on every time. So obviously whoever uses it on the yard, you use yourself or whoever can just come and press the My Cycle button and it's set. So that's good. So what do you think you sort of mainly use it for? Is it the rugs, numbness?
Rugs, boots, numbness, everyday just kit, anything that we can fit in there goes in that.
Yeah, exactly. And do you find the results are good from the machine?
It's just fantastic. The rugs come out looking nearly pretty much new, and with horses that's quite impressive. Yeah, definitely. To keep them clean for the horses, especially like the grease in them, and you don't want anyone to get soft skin. And like you say, because you have a lot of horses on your yard, if you use it like the same rug for a different horse, you don't want any like contamination between horses if there was any. So it's very thorough.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's good. How do you dry your rugs?
So on the whole, the stuff that comes out is pretty good. The boot stuff will just go outside and dry. The heavier rugs do have to be hung up in the warm room to dry, especially the bigger turnout rugs. Exactly, yeah. We do always recommend that you hang your rugs to dry. It's a much more kinder way on the rug to dry, to be honest, and it will keep the rug like new. Do you ever reproof in the washing machine? Put any reproof? We have done a couple of times, and it's saved money rather than having to send them off and have it done professionally. Exactly. I mean, it varies, doesn't it, from place to place how much it costs to send your rugs away to be washed, but £15 probably for a wash and reproof, and then you've obviously got to wait for it to come back, and you need it, don't you? So very urgently, then it's a bit of a pain. So having a machine on your yard is just perfect. Is there any other features on the machine that you know about or you use, or you want me to tell you about? Because I know you've got it set. I know you've got it set on the My Cycle to use sort of every time. But if you've got in the future, if you want to use this feature, then you've got pre-wash. So if you've got a really filthy turnout rug, you can put the pre-wash cycle on. It will extend the time a bit, because what it is, it's like a pre-soak. Sorry. That's right. So it's like a pre-soak. So if it's really filthy, it's just come out in the field and it's like caked in mud. Then put it in, put the pre-wash on.
it'll cold soak it, then it'll drain that, and then it'll start its main cycle. So then its initial start isn't in dirty water to begin with, so you don't want that really, because then it's turning around. So that's one feature, and the other one is the add steam that you can obviously add to it. Again, it's going to add a little bit more time, but what it is, it's instead of putting your rugs on a hot wash, like I mentioned earlier, you can only really wash them on 30 degrees. It'll gently add steam into it, which will help get rid of stains and stable stains and nasty things like that. But it'll do it in a gentle way, so it's not boiling the rug.
Hard on the rugs.
And then shrinking them, obviously, and ruining them. So yeah, you can obviously add them if you've got something really filthy that needs cleaning. Do you think there's anything we can improve on the machine?
It's hard to know, to be honest, because at the end of the day it does the job, and that's all we need. We need something that does the job. Rugs come out clean. As long as they come out clean, I'm happy. Yeah, well, that's good to hear. If we've got nothing to improve, that's perfect. So yeah, no, that's good. Thank you very much to Harry for letting us come and film the washing machine. No problem.
And we're glad that it's doing its job right for him.